I were to ask you right now, in a quiet moment, what are you struggling with? I want you to think about what your answer would be. What are you struggling with? What is hard? What feels like it might pull you down? What feels like you'll never be able to complete it? What feels like such a pain, such a wound, such a trauma that you wonder if you'll ever be able to make it through? Maybe it's trouble at work. Maybe it's trouble in a relationship. Maybe it's a project that seems like it will never be done. I asked you, what are you struggling with? What is your answer? I want you to hold that with you during this sermon today. Because the sermon is about struggle. And the subject is Jacob. Jacob is the third of the three great patriarchs, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And Jacob's entire life has been struggle. In fact, even his name, Jacob, means one who grasps, one who's seeking, one who's trying to supplant. His very name means to struggle. And everything Jacob has done so far in his life has been a struggle. And right now, in this moment we hear today, it looks like it will take him under. He has tricked his brother, or, taken advantage of his brother's weakness to receive his father's blessing. And now he hears that this problem from the past that won't let itself go is now at his doorstep. Esau, his brother, with 400 men coming to see him. He sends his company forward in two different groups in case Esau destroys one, the other might survive. He gives these gifts to his brother Esau, and yet it still seems like not enough. The scripture gives us then one of the most profound images of struggle in the entire scriptures. It says that Jacob is left all alone, and the very next sentence says, a man came and wrestled with him, and they wrestled through the night. Who is Jacob wrestling with? The scripture does not say Jacob was left alone and an angel came to him and he struggled with the angel. No, where it's confusing that who it is changes. In the middle of the dark, in the middle of the night with Jacob all alone, suddenly he's struggling with someone, with a man, but he's alone. Jewish rabbis in the Midrash have looked at this passage, and the lack of clarity is beautiful in the passage. It's written to be unclear so that we're left wondering, like Jacob is. Who is Jacob struggling with? He may be struggling with himself. It just said he's alone and he struggles with a man through the night. There is no other person there but himself. And here is Jacob struggling with himself through the night about what he has done and who he has become and what tomorrow is going to be, and he refuses to let go. Is he struggling with himself? Maybe he's struggling with Esau. The rabbis say it's possible that Esau decides to go ahead and to scout and to see what Jacob is up to. And it may well be that here in the middle of this darkness, his brother himself comes and wrestles with me. What were you thinking? What were you doing? How could you take this? Who do you think you are? Who do you think that I am? And the two of them struggle through the night, maybe. Or maybe he's just struggling with his past. And he's there all alone, and the struggle through the night is this sort of wrestling and wrangling and seeking a way through. And ultimately he comes to think that God was present throughout the wrestling. And maybe in some sense he's been wrestling with God through this night. But here's the message of hope, is that Jacob refuses to let this take him down. He insists on a blessing. He refuses to let go until there's a blessing. That in the middle of this darkness, throughout this dark night of the soul, as he's going through till morning, struggling for hours, wrestling with himself, with his brother, with an angel, with God, with his past, with his future, he refuses to let go until there's a blessing. He refuses to let it take him down. He refuses to say, this is the end. This is going to take me out. This is the end of my story. This is going to overcome me. This is too big for me. He refuses to relent. He refuses to let go. He refuses to be bested. He refuses to let it take him down. And if he has to wrestle, I don't know if you've ever wrestled recently or this is not an easy thing to do. And he wrestles for hours. I was in wrestling in high school, and the matches where there was like 3 2-minute matches. And at the end of 2 minutes, you couldn't even breathe anymore. And you needed that 30-second break. It would say you're sucking eggs because you're... And he wrestled for hours. The mental anguish, the courage, the determination, the discipline, the refusal to be laid low is extraordinary. He insists that through this darkness, I will not let go until I find the blessing in this. And in some sense, by the morning, when the angel says, let me go, and he says, I refuse. And the angel says, what is your name? It's actually a chance for Jacob to make a certain amend. Because the struggle is not only a refusal to let go, the struggle is a working through of, right? A finding his way through of. And the primary sin, the primary mark against Jacob was when he went into his father, Isaac. And Isaac said, who are you? What's your name? And Jacob said, I am Esau. Remember that from 2 weeks ago? He lied. He said he was his brother. And his father, Isaac, was blind. This is a little like the darkness of the night. And in the darkness of his father's blindness, when his father says, who are you? And he says, I am Esau. That changes the course of Jacob's life. It's in some ways what has led all of this struggle to catch up with him. And so you see, he's also finding his way through. He's making amends. He's figuring out what he would have done different, what he would do now, how he's been changed. The angel asks him, what is your name? In the midst of this darkness, it's almost an echo of his father from 20 years ago. What is your name? And he says, I am Jacob. Which actually means, it's actually kind of a confession, I'm the one who grasps. I'm the one who supplants. I'm the one who struggles. I'm the one who's seeking to take. Jacob, in saying his own name, finds a new grounding and a new peace, a new sense of his identity, a new recognition of the truth of who he is. And yet even then, he refuses to let go until the angel gives the blessing. Now, what is a blessing? A blessing doesn't exactly change the moment. A blessing changes the future. When you're blessed, it means that as you go forward, things are going to work out for you. When you're blessed, it means as you go forward, everything from here is going to be up. When you're blessed, it means that things will arrange, that there will be blessed, that there will be abundance, that there will be gifts, that there will be lessons, that there will be rewards, that there will be relationships, that there'll be love, that there'll be connection. A blessing is a state of heart, a state of mind, a state of spirit that affirms that a new future has been opened. And this is what Jacob insists on receiving before he releases. And lo and behold, as he goes out to his brother, he bows down 7 times, actually, on his way to his brother. And as he comes up to his brother, very interestingly, wrestling's like this, right? It's an embrace. He comes up to his brother, and his brother embraces him, and then kisses him on the cheek. And indeed, the future has been changed. His brother has forgiven him. The water has gone under the bridge. His brother's heart has been melted, and Jacob is blessed from this moment forward. In the darkness, you can't hold on for the blessing. You can insist on the blessing. You're going through the divorce, but you say, I refuse to let this take me down. I refuse to let this destroy me. Your loved one passes away. You say, I refuse to let this be the end of my story. I refuse that from this moment on, my story goes down and down and down. It gets smaller and smaller and smaller. I'm going to wrestle with myself. I'm going to wrestle with my God. I'm going to wrestle with my past. I'm going to wrestle with the truth of who I am. I'm going to wrestle through the night. I'm going to refuse to let go until God promises me the blessing, until he pronounces the blessing upon me. Because from this moment on, I refuse to go any other way except up. I refuse to go any other way but forward. I refuse to go any other way but towards grace. This is an offering. It's a pattern that is offered to Israel. It's a pattern through Israel that is offered to all of God's people. It actually is the nature of Israel, which is interesting that Jacob's name gets changed. Well, even better than that, Jacob's name doesn't get changed to Israel. Israel gets added to his name. He becomes Jacob Israel. Jacob, the one who strives with God. And it becomes the character of Israel throughout the scriptures. They're the ones who constantly are going through the dark night of the soul, who end up under the thumb of Egypt, who end up under the thumb of the Philistines, who end up fighting with themselves in the divided kingdom. Israel, this is Israel's story, that whatever the darkness and whatever the struggle and however long it might be, that they hold on and they refuse to let go until the blessing is pronounced. So that as the morning comes, in their minds, we're going forward and we're going up. St. Paul says you are the Israel of God, that we are the Israel of God. What is your struggle? And what does it look like if you let it take you down? What might happen if you decide, this is too much, this is the end, from here I get smaller, from here I get weaker, from here everything falls apart? Are you willing to accept that? Jacob is offering us another way. He ends up wounded on the hip forever. There's a cost. And though he goes forward a little bit like this. But for Jacob, that's enough. Because he insists that from here on he goes forward.